Welcome to Subramani. Do you need to invest at all in a mutual fund? There are people I know who don't invest in a mutual fund, and there are people I know who do not invest much in a mutual fund. So, the basic question is, why do you need to invest in a mutual fund, and who needs to invest in a mutual fund? I would think that almost everybody needs to invest in a mutual fund because of various things. Let us assume you're a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old student just about to complete your education, and you have presumably another 37-38 years of service left, and you are, let's say, you're a doctor, you're a fresh chartered accountant, you're a fresh MBA, or you're an engineer who's taken up a job, right? One of those things. And you're 22, 23 years of age, 24 maybe. You have a full-time job, right? You have a full-time job which is going to earn you money, unless you're working in one of those places where you need to work only for 2-3 hours a day. Then yes, you can find a lot of time to invest. But assuming you're working in one of the management consultancy companies and you work till 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., it's quite pretty common these days, and you really don't have much time on your hand to handle mutual funds. So you will obviously want to give it to somebody else to manage your money. Not managing your money is much worse than managing it through somebody else. So you will want an agency who will handle it. So therefore a mutual fund. So who fits into this category? Literally everybody. Who does not fit into this category is a 23-year-old cricketer who might have much different needs than a 23-year-old MBA taking up a job, or a 23-year-old actor. He or she may have completely different kind of cash flows, and they may need a personal financial advisor to sit and advise them through their investment process, because they've got a short earning life and a long life to live. So whereas the person who is employed has got 38 years to live, so he has it is easier for him to manage because his cash flow is going to be nicely structured, happening over a period of time. Whereas for a film star or a sports guy, all the money is going to come in 10 years or 12 years, maybe 15 years maximum, and that has to be spread over the next 40-50 years, and there are a lot of distractions. Things could go wrong. There are a lot of expenses which I don't know whether all of us realize. So their lives are a little more complicated, so they need more financial advice, and they need more than just mutual funds. But mutual fund will work very well for this young 22-year-old or a 25-year-old. What about a 50-year-old, or what about a 35-year-old? A 35-year-old has a lot of choices. He can invest in equities, he can invest in debt, and he can invest in mutual funds which are equity, debt, or even something which is balanced, which puts money in debt and equity. He has a choice. The greatest advantage for anybody, and especially for a person paying higher taxes, which I think at the age of 35 is already gone into the 30% slab or 40% slab, is in the mutual funds you get to be more tax efficient, which means you invest money when you're younger and when you have the ability to invest, and you pay taxes only when you withdraw. Now imagine this 24-year-old has put money in some fund which she or he does not require for next 35 years. She pays tax on it at the age of 60. So it's very, very tax efficient. It is 35 years taxation deferral. So I have mutual funds in which I have invested in 1999 or maybe 2001. Which I have not withdrawn till date. So for 20 years it is lying in the same fund. So when will I pay tax? Only when I withdraw, right? So will I withdraw? Yes, of course, at some stage I may withdraw, or my daughter may just inherit it, right? It could be just a change of, it could just go to the nominee after my death. So that could also happen. The advantage is tax deferral. You don't have to keep accounts. You don't have a TDS. You don't have a Form 26AS to check whether the TDS has been done correctly. None of those headaches. You don't need to do any transaction. So it is a huge advantage even for a person, anybody at all, if you don't want to do too much of administrative work. Like if you are dealing in shares, you'll have to buy, you'll have to sell, you'll have to preserve those contracts, you will have to calculate capital gains tax, you will have to pay. So it's a lot of hassles, right? Some people are happy to go about doing it, some people are not. So if you're not, then mutual funds are a little, let's say, lazier option. Having said all this, is there risk in mutual fund? Of course there is risk in mutual fund, but there is no risk of a fund manager taking your money and running away. It is a well regulated industry. That is a huge advantage, right? So you have a trustee, you have directors, you have auditors, you have fund managers, you have fund sales people, you have fund documents, you have advisors, right? You have to get an amazingly wrong combination to be cheated, right? So you won't get cheated, you can get underperformance. Underperformance is not cheating, incompetence is not cheating. Yes, there can be incompetence there, but there can't be cheating, because to a great extent it is well regulated. Am I saying there is no cheating in the mutual fund business? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the probability of getting this bad combination of a bad CEO, bad CIO, bad advisor is dramatically reduced if you are a little diligent. That's all. It requires a little bit of diligence. It does not require too much of hard work. So therefore, for a younger person, for an older person, for tax efficiency, for the fact that it is a well regulated industry, these are enough reasons. Another very important thing is you can do a monthly investment. So you do not know how much you can invest per month. So you go and sign up for 3,000 rupees a month, and you find that end of every month you still have about 2,000 rupees left in your account. So it means you can actually do a 5,000 rupee SIP. You just give your money to 2-3 fund managers and they manage it for you for the rest of their life and your life, right? So that's very convenient. SIP is a very convenient way of investing, especially for younger people who have no clue whether to invest, where to invest, etc. And for this, you don't really require an advisor. If you want to do it without an advisor, I would suggest simply put money in an index fund, because an index fund does not need a fund manager. So put money in an index fund, take the direct option, and this should work for you. So this combination of being in a very efficient market, using the services of a professional who invests for you, and you pay him a regular amount per month. He will decide when to invest, when to take a cash call. That is all his job. It is your job to give him an X amount per month, and 90% of fund managers or 95% of fund managers won't take cash calls, because you have given money to Mr. X to manage it for you as equity. So he will put the money in equity. The day you think you should not be putting money in equity, you stop your SIP. I am not suggesting when you should do or anything, but that is your call. You are the owner. You have to take the call. So this combination of starting early, power of compounding over a period of time, power of tax deferral over a period of time, and in a well regulated market, right? So all these people are there, and you also have to be vigilant. To think that your advisor will be more vigilant than you about your money, you're living in utopia, right? It can't happen. Your advisor is dealing with say 30, 50, 100, 200 clients. He has got it. Of course he knows what he is doing, but it is your job to be vigilant, to see what is happening. Can I do this? Can we suggest this? Should I put more money for my retirement? Do I need to put money away in a retirement plan? These are questions which you should be asking your advisor. So a combination of a diligent investor, a good advisor, and a well-regulated industry which gives you tax deferral, I don't see any great reason why you should not be investing in a mutual fund. Of course, if you are capable, like a small portion of the population is capable of dealing in direct equities, you avoid all this also. But even in direct equities, you cannot get diversification. You cannot get fixed 5,000 rupees per month. You have to create your own portfolio. There you have sizing issues. You do not know how much of which share to buy, right? How should your portfolio be? Should it be skewed or should it be always equal? You have to grapple with all those things. Yes, it requires a little bit of skill in picking up a good fund also. But having said all that, there are just too many reasons, very, very compelling reasons to be a good mutual fund investor. And to an extent, even for a retired person, the tax deferral is worth it, because he needs to withdraw. Suppose he needs 25,000 per month, he needs to withdraw only 27,000 rupees per month, assuming he pays 2,000 as income tax. Whereas if he had kept money in a bank fixed deposit, they will not decide how much to pay him, right? That is already prefixed. You cannot decide that this month you want only 2,000 rupees from your bank FD. It is just not possible. right? You will get in a lump sum on which you will pay tax and then use a small portion of it, whereas in mutual funds you can withdraw exactly how much you want. Thank you.